Yo guys, what's going on? It's Jumper here with Fan Warrior Nation, bringing you yet another fantasy daily lineup builder for FanDuel. Today we've got a 12 game slate, pretty exciting. Got a lot going on and I feel like I have a very good grasp on the slate today. Done quite a bit of research. And I'll quickly put up the lineup from yesterday here. So we had two Blue Jays in the lineup, and that game got postponed. As you can see, Merrifield, I kept him in there on accident because I just took out the Blue Jays. I didn't even think about Kansas City players. So we ended up switching out the two Blue Jays for Herrera and Valleca down there on the bottom, those two guys. Valleca was bare minimum salary at $2,000, so we're not expecting much from him, and then Herrera came through with the homer, so that was pretty huge for us. Otherwise, Davidson and Freeman really dudded. We ended up with 157 fantasy points, which won us in our cashes, and we were just outside the cash in GPPs. So we ended up profiting last night off this lineup. Obviously, it had a lot more potential. Our story pick is really panned out, and Renfroe, two pretty good value picks. Also pretty low owned, and also our pitcher, we had a great read on the pitcher last night, as well as many other people. He's pretty high owned, but yeah, I didn't expect him to be that high owned, to be honest. So anyways, if you guys are liking the results, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you guys are liking the videos, physically like the video if you are liking them. But like I said, I really am enjoying doing this. I'd like to see some continuing support from you guys. It is pretty nice. If you want more articles on every sport, go to our link down in the bottom left, Fan Warrior Nation, and use code JUMP10 to subscribe. We get articles on there every day. For NBA playoffs are pretty big right now, so we got articles on that. If you use the code JUMP10, you get $10 off the first subscription, so it'll only be $5 for the first month. And yeah, and if you want to chat with any of our experts, feel free down in the description. Go to our Slack chat. We'll talk about any pivots or anything you guys have, or any questions. We'll be more than willing to answer them. So anyways, let's get right into it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Our Twitter's also in the description. Alright, getting into it. Pitcher today, obviously a lot of options. You can today is definitely a day where you can pay up for the good pitchers, or, anytime there's a huge slate like this, 12 games, that's crazy. You can either, pay up for a great pitcher, low risk, or you can go high risk, high reward. And normally we're not high risk, high reward, but we're kind of more towards that than paying up. But today we're going to go kind of more on the paying upside, and I'll tell you why. We're going to be going with Gio Gonzalez here for the Nats, pitching against the Mets, even though they had a pretty good night last night. So the over-under for this game is just 7.5. By the way, the whole slate only has one game at a 9 over-under, and that's the Brewers and Reds. So that's kind of why we're paying up for a pitcher, because we're going to be stacking on the Reds today, which is going to be a very cheap stack given their roster. And because they're going against Junior Guerrera for the Brewers is pitching. So it's kind of going to let us pay up at pitcher, and then just kind of have some average batters, some decent value picks, and then we pay up at shortstop for Trey Turner today. But anyways, going on Gio Gonzalez, like I said, the over-under is 7.5. So, and the Washington Nationals also have a 53% win percentage. So that's just, they're favored. So that's always nice to have the pitchers favored. He has been averaging 7-ish, right around 7 strikeouts on right around 5 innings in his 3 starts so far. And we're getting pretty deep, or not pretty deep, but relatively deeper into the season, so we're going to be expecting more than 5 innings as long as he can hold on a little bit. The little bit of downside is he has given up 3 walks both of the last 2 games, especially if you're in DraftKings. That's something to look out for, is you get penalized for that. But at the same time, he's hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in all of his outings so far. So that's definitely some upside there. The walks isn't really too big in FanDuel, unless obviously those end up leading 2 runs. So you kind of keep an eye on that. He's kind of averaging around high 30s for fantasy points so far. And he is a left-handed pitcher, and the top 3 out of the Mets' top 6 guys, if you're going to Conforto, Bruce, and Gonzalez, they're all lefties. So, I mean, 50% of, their top 6 batters are left-handed batters going against left-handed pitchers. So you always like to see that matchup for a lefty. So, yeah, that's kind of our reasoning for him. Moving on to first base, Matt Olson. All right. Matt Olson. All right, Olson, he's relatively cheap. Not super cheap, pretty average price, I guess. His WOBA is plus 8% today, and his ISO is plus 19%, which is really the reason we're taking him. That brings his ISO up to 347, which is huge. It's the 3rd in the entire slate today. So for this price and this home run potential, I feel like that definitely justifies taking him, and maybe not every lineup, but at least a few. So he's going to be our pick today for first base. Moving on, start out with the red stack here. We're going to take Scooter Gennett. Besides yesterday, I think this is his first, series back against the Brewers, his old team. I'm not sure on that. To be honest, I could be way off on that. But obviously, you can even see in this picture here, he's wearing Brewers hat. He's from the Brewers, so he's going to be wanting to make an impression on them. Comeback games are always pretty good. Like I said, obviously they played yesterday, but his matchup was terrible yesterday. And he's a decent price, 3,100, not too bad. And he's a lefty going against Junior Guerra, who's a righty. His WOBA is plus 7%, and his ISO is plus 13%, getting his ISO right around 200, which is pretty huge for second base to get a little bit of home run potential out there. Like I said, that's kind of what we always try to look for at second base and shortstop, is some home run upside. Kind of the highest ISO in those positions for the best price is what we look for. As you can see, like from our last lineup that I was showing you, take like Trevor Story. And Merrifield had a good ISO yesterday, but obviously he didn't do it. But yeah, Story got a 3-run jack, so that was clutch for us. So yeah, there's our reasoning for Scooter. At third base, we're going to take Travis Shaw. He's the only Brewer in our lineup today, as we didn't really want to get too heavy in this game. We're kind of just going to go for one team. The Brewers do have a 60% win percentage, however, so maybe you could be interested in doing a lineup just Brewers instead of Reds. But this one's going to be Reds, which is kind of tough for me to do considering I'm a Brewers fan, but I'm trying to be unbiased here. So yeah, we got Travis Shaw, left-handed batter going against a right-handed pitcher. So basically any lefty in this game, both of the pitchers for the Brewers and the Reds are both righties, so any lefty in either one of their lineups should be pretty good picks with the highest over-under on the night. Both of these pitchers are, definitely far from the team's aces, so we're kind of picking on them. That's why I'm assuming the over-under is so high, because both of the pitchers are pretty subpar, so we're just going to kind of be picking on Junior today. For shortstop, this is going to be the one spot we're paying up today in Trey Turner, 4,500. He has a plus 16% ISO, which brings it to 211, which is huge home run upside for the shortstop position. So that's basically all we have for taking him, is just his ISO is huge. His WOA was also up a little bit today. But yeah, so that's our Trey Turner pick. Moving on to outfielder, we're taking Renfroe yet again. I don't see how you can't play him. Definitely the pick of the day for me today, Hunter Renfroe, pick of the day for the Padres. I mean, his numbers is just undeniable. How can you not take him? First, he's at a great price. He has the second best WOBA in the slate today, and the best ISO in the slate. I mean, for 3,100, you're getting a guy who is theoretically hitting the ball harder than Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, all these guys. He's hitting it harder than them, and his WOBA is better than all others. His weighted on-base average is better than all these guys that people are, paying 5,400, 5,200. You can pay almost half of that, and you get better numbers. I just don't know how you don't play him. I mean, obviously it's not always going to work out, but you want the best advantage you can, so we're saving a lot of money to get some great numbers there. So now is when we're really going to hit on the red stack. You might be thinking, what the heck, you're doing red stack? You only got one red. Well, we're about to get 3 more and cap it off at the 4 red. So here's our kind of pick. We're not in love with it, but we're going to do it. Adam Duvall, 2,500. He's a great price, batting fourth in the Reds lineup. We should have great opportunities today, as we already talked about. The last 2 games, he's been really hot. He doesn't have great numbers today. The last 2 games, he's put out great fantasy points. So we're going to go ahead and take him again. And then our next pick, this is kind of where we're saving money today. Our value pick is Jesse Winker. 2 spot for the Reds. He actually does have some decent numbers, plus 7% WOBA and plus 8% ISO. For his price, having plus 8% ISO is some pretty decent home run upsides for 2,600. I mean, just to have the option to go yard at that price is pretty good. And then for our utility, we're going to go ahead and take Votto here. Joey Votto, 3,600. It'll leave us with 300 left. So basically that meaning you could kind of change up some of your some guys if you want for 300. Like I said, Duvall I'm not in love with, but he has been hot lately. Trey Turner, nothing too crazy. Even Shaw might be someone you could take out. A couple of these guys are interchangeable, but overall this is what I like the best, especially for GPP. I feel like this will be a very unique lineup. Maybe the Reds not so much, but as far as the diversity in the rest of the lineup goes, should be pretty unique. But yeah, besides that, one thing I want to touch on is like people that you might be paying up for typically don't have great upside today. Like Bryce Harper has pretty good numbers. If you're gonna pay up, I would take Harper, especially over Trout. Trout's numbers are atrocious today. Doesn't mean he can't have a good game, but if you're just looking at the numbers, he shouldn't today. Today would be the day he should not have a great day. Harper's numbers are up today. I would definitely consider taking him if you're going to pay up for somebody. But as far as like Houston players are normally pretty big, Correa, Altuve, and Bregman are all pretty high in salary at least, and they have one of the lowest over-under games today. So I'd try to stay away from those guys. Any New York Mets that are lefties, I would also stay away from. Obviously, we're staying away from all Mets today, considering we have Washington's pitcher. I'd also stay away from the Mets pitcher, considering they're facing Washington. Very powerful lineup. But anyway, that's enough ranting about the lineup. Hopefully that gives you guys enough of a general landscape of how to craft your perfect lineups today. Like I said, if you're enjoying it, please feel free to subscribe and like the YouTube channel. And you guys already heard me plug in everything else. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.